Okay. Um, First, let me say Defiance played really well. And we played him a couple years ago, and Coach was in his first year, and he's really, really done a great job with that program. They've really improved, and I feel that's my hometown, so I'm happy for Defiance College and that. I think that was really, really good how they've improved. They got some really good players, and I think they played a very good game. We uh, had an injury yesterday in practice that I think threw us for a little bit of a loop, and the first half was not very good basketball for what we expected Oakland University. But I thought the second half we figured it out offensively, got the ball to the rim, got it into our guys that can score it in there, and we played a pretty good half of basketball offensively. I thought defensively the whole game, for 11 new guys trying to learn a very complicated defense, we made some errors, and you're going to get exposed on Illinois and those teams. But if we can learn and continue to get better and rebound the ball, Woody had 12 rebounds tonight, a career high, and it was really good to see a guy who struggled offensively, who's going to be one of our go-to scorers, struggled a little bit offensively, and was able to go get 12 rebounds. That's a really good sign. So there's some good things that happened.
Questions for Baru or Cooper?
For Coop, it's not very often that you see a guy in his third year make a home debut. So, just how does it feel?
It feels good. Obviously a lot of hard work and I would say pretty weird journey, but just putting my head down, staying the course, trusting my process, working hard every day, and just keep going.
And then for Baru, how you're kind of the guy on defense that's been there and done that, you and DQ, I guess. But how do you feel that how do you feel that your leadership, how do you think that you are coming along as a leader?
It's definitely been a pretty big adjustment. Obviously, Zay and DQ in the nail and wing positions were a lot more experienced than I was. But in saying that, having DQ and Zay help in practice has helped me teach the other guys as well. So it's coming along pretty well. I think we've done a pretty good job considering we have like 11 new guys that this is brand new to. So all in all, I think we're doing pretty good as a squad.
Any other questions for the student athletes? All right, thanks guys.
Thank you.
All right, questions for Coach Kampe?
Camp in the second half, then when you guys did get the offense rolling, did it feel as obvious as it looked out there, where you could just see it? It was night and day what you guys were able to do in the second half versus the first.
Yeah, well, it's on me. I mean, I went into the game and I did not want to show Boise. I mean, we didn't run much against Michigan. We didn't run much against Rochester, and we weren't going to run much today because the games really count. The next three. We're into the lion's mouth the next three with Boise, Illinois, and Kansas. And so I didn't want to really do anything, especially when Allen got hurt yesterday. I just wanted to go out and play. And what happened is that I thought we were, and I don't like using the word selfish because, people turn that around and say you're calling your players selfish and things like that. And that's not what I mean. In any way, shape, or form do I mean that. What I mean is that we were more concerned about, I got to get it going, and my first home game, the first time I've ever played at Oakland, those types of things. The bright lights, and I'm going to go, I'm going to score, I'm going to get one, and whatever. I mean, when Christie finally made a three, that you saw his reaction, those are human reactions. And so I let us play. We didn't run it. The only set we ran in the first half was the end of the half play that Baru got knocked out of his hands. Everything else was just flow into what we do in our break and stuff like that. And we took a lot of really bad shots, and we're much bigger and we're much, and they didn't pressure pressure us and we're wide open, and that doesn't mean anything. You know, you still got to play from the inside out. And we've always, and everybody that's been in a press conference that I've been for the last 40 years knows I always talk about you got to learn how to play inside out. As many threes as we shoot, and we shoot as many as anybody in the country over the last 40 years, you get them from the inside out. And so we came out in the second half, and the first 6, 7 possessions of the second half, we ran sets to Baru touched the ball. And look what happened. You know, we scored at the basket, then we started making threes because they were inside out. And it was a great learning experience for them. Unfortunately, Boise got to see, and those teams got to see, you know, some sets that we're going to run. But it was worth them seeing that for our guys to understand how you have to play this game. And we have older veteran players that haven't played at Oakland. You would think they would maybe know how to play the game, but it's the first time, and it's different. And so you're right, it was night and day, but that was the reason. It was the coaching aspect of it. We didn't do anything in the first half.
How about Jalen at the point guard spot tonight? What do you think about that? He came in and seemed to stabilize some things.
Yeah, his first 2 or 3 minutes weren't very good, and then after that he was really solid. And you know, I really, when Isaiah gets back and Allen are back, you know, I want to bring him off the bench, which is why I'm doing that right now. But I may not be able to continue to do that. You know, I may need to start him at the beginning and hand it over to him. I don't really want to do that yet. Not that, you know, I mean, it's our best option, there's no question, but I don't want to just give it to him. He's got to earn it. And his inconsistencies in some areas of his game, that's teaching and coaching, and I'm working with him to get him more consistent and get him, you know, more. He's still on our sets. He's got to understand where to get the ball in that. And playing point guard at Oakland is not easy. And he's learning that it's not easy. And he's handling it pretty good. And, you know, I'm at a crossroads there whether I just hand it to him or not. And I'm not ready to do that. I mean, he's going to play probably the same amount of minutes whether he starts or not anyways. But, yeah, I think we're a better team when he's on the floor. There's no question about that.
Coach, you mentioned Allen getting hurt a couple times. Is there anything you can give about a timetable or?
This is the third straight year that we've lost the day before. You know, Jalen Moore the day before the first exhibition game 2 years ago in the last 5 minutes of practice. Last year, Lampman, he played through the first couple games, and then he got injured, and it's just, it's frustrating to me that it keeps happening. You know, you get your turn, everybody gets their turn where things like that happen, but, you know, there was 10 minutes to go in practice yesterday, and he came down on somebody's foot, and, you know, it's thank God it's not a high ankle sprain, but, I mean, there's a good chance he won't play the next couple of weeks, and there's a chance he might play Wednesday. We got a great training staff. Bree is really good, and he wants to play badly. He thinks he's going to play Wednesday. I asked him this question. I said, if we were playing in the NCAA tournament today, could you have played? And he said, no. Well, if that's the case, he ain't playing for a while. You know, in my mind, in my old-fashioned, old guy mind, you know. I mean, I grew up in an era where you played it unless you couldn't walk. And so if he felt he couldn't have played if we were playing Kentucky tonight, then he's not going to be ready to play for a while.
How aware has Cooper grown to get this opportunity, not only to get the minutes, but to get the shots too?
Well, I've never questioned his shooting ability. And, you know, he got an opportunity because of Allen getting injured. He got an opportunity tonight, right? You know, going into this season, after all our practice and everything, if Allen had not been hurt and if Isaiah Jones was healthy and we had our whole team, his role would be probably the 10 minutes that Baru didn't play. He would rest Baru, and maybe even I could move Isaiah down to that spot, so 0 to 10 minutes, who knew what he was going to get. And it wasn't because of his offense. He can score the basketball. He can shoot it, and he can score in the post. That's never been a question. The question is defensively. You know, where's he going to play in the zone? He's a little undersized to play at the hoop. Is he athletic enough to play on the wings? And is he athletic enough? Are we athletic enough to have him, Christie, and Woodbridge? You know, you get the three of them, and playing all three of them at the same time defensively is probably not a smart move. So that was going to limit his minutes. Now today he got an opportunity, and he showed he could do some stuff offensively, but I haven't seen the tape yet, obviously, but I saw some really good things from him defensively. And, you know, the smart take from the strong, and if he can just figure it out, and he's smart enough to be a step or two ahead, that can make up for a lack of some athleticism and speed on the perimeter. He does have size. So he took a really good step forward today, and it's not because he had 14 points. I know that against the Defiance College he could score. The question is, can he guard Kansas? Can he guard Milwaukee? Can he guard, you know, in our league? And he's going to get more opportunities now because of the way he played tonight.
Any other questions for Coach?
Coach, people on Twitter are loving your halftime interview. Did that energy carry into the locker room at all, or?
Was I bad at halftime, Petty? I don't really remember.
Yeah, it might have been a lot. You might have just been seeing a lot of red. It was, and I quote, "We're awful."
We were. I've always been a guy to tell the truth, man. But you don't sugarcoat stuff. But yeah, it probably wasn't that good in that locker room. That's probably was true. So, anything else?
So I know that you as a coach always like to have, look at your players and all that, but obviously this is your 700th career win. Have to take at least one moment to kind of reflect on your journey throughout all this. But I guess for one specific question, what would you say is something that you've learned now at win 700 that you didn't know at win 1 at Oakland?
I could speak for 5 hours on that. I came here at 28 years old thinking that I was the greatest coach in the history of coaches, and that I would win 50 national championships and be the next John Wooden and all that kind of stuff. And it didn't take long to find out that I don't know very much. And on the scale of coaches, I was way down at the bottom. And in my mind, I'm not that much far from the bottom as I was then. But what I did do is I've hired great staff. I've been blessed that we were able to recruit great players. And I've been fortunate to work with great people. I mean, you look at the coaching staff at Oakland over the years. Pete Hovland, one of the greatest coaches that ever coached it. Gary Parsons, Tracy Hoot, you know, Paul Rice is still here now. I mean, this university's been blessed with outstanding coaches, and I've got to interact and be around each one of them and grow with the program and grow with them and learn from them. And, you know, I've just been really fortunate. And those coaches have been able to recruit really good players. I mean, the fan base at Oakland, I don't think they even understand how lucky they've been to see the amount of players, the level of players that have come through Oakland University, a school that was Division II that turned into Division I. I mean, you're talking 5 NBA players. Name another school that's gone our path that has 2, let alone 5. 45 to 50 European pros, you know. And then you saw that video after the game, and that video is what makes it for me. It has nothing to do with 700 wins. It's those kids and what they said, and you know, like I said, doctors, lawyers. I got a guy that's a jailer. I've got policemen. I've got firefighters. I've got teachers. I've got coaches. I've got NBA coach. Mike Malone's an NBA head coach of the Denver Nuggets. Travis Bader's now on the bench for the Nets. Max Hooper's the head coach of the G League team for Dallas. I mean, you look around and you see this, and you just, I mean, our fan base, if you realize who's come through this building and played in there, and I've got to sit on the bench and they call me coach. I mean, that's what's made this, that's what this thing the players just gave me, you know. This means so much more that they would do that, unless I find out in an hour that somebody made them do it. That they would do that, you know. This is why you stay in the business. This is why you continue to do it. And it has nothing to do with winning, absolutely nothing to do with winning. you're happy that they won. And to answer your question, that's what I've learned the most, right? Because when I was 28 or 29 years old, it was I was winning. You know, I'm winning. Well, I got my ass beat a lot, and that taught me that the word I is, you know, it has nothing to do with me as the coach. It has everything to do with that group of young men. I hope that answered your question.